Welcome students. Today we will study class 6 chemistry lesson 2, the role of chemistry in our lives. So let's start students. First, I want to give you a little introduction about chemistry. All basic life forms on earth depend greatly on chemistry for their survival, including us. Everything from surviving treacherous climates to how our bodies develop and work are all related to the word of chemistry. Now, the introduction about the chapter. Chemistry plays a big role in our everyday life. For example, chemistry and food, chemistry and soap industry, chemistry and cosmetics, chemistry and medicines, chemistry and clothing, and so many others. So in this chapter, we will cover all these types of topics. Chemistry is intimately involved with the life processes of every living being. Let us see how. Our first topic is chemistry and food. For food, we depend on agriculture to a large extent. Chemistry helps us to grow more crops with the help of fertilizers and pesticides. Chemistry and fertilizers. Plants need few elements like nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium and zinc for proper growth. These elements are naturally present in the soil, but they decreases in amount after every crop. Then we have to use fertilizers to make up for the loss in the amount of element. Some commonly used fertilizers have been mentioned here in this table. You can see on your screen. For nitrogen, we have to use urea. For phosphorus, superphosphate of lime. Nitrogen and phosphorus, diammonium phosphate. Potassium, potassium chloride. Zinc, zinc sulfate and zinc oxide. So these fertilizers we have to use for growth of plants. Now we have to talk about pesticides. So to kill insect and small animals that harm the crop, we use pesticides. Here is one more table. There are two columns, types of pesticides and the chemical what we have to use in this pesticide. Insecticides to kill the insect, and the used chemical is DDT, endosulfan, aldrin, malathion, carbon, etc. For fungicides, thiram, herbicides, benzopyrene. Herbicides means the small weeds, the small plants, unwanted plants. Rodenticides. Rodenticide means the mice, rats, etc. So to kill rodenticides, aluminium phosphide. Chemistry in food processing. In this topic, we will discuss about three main things: food processing, flavoring agents and preservatives. Nowadays, there is a lots of demand for ready to eat food. So there are three main steps to prepare ready to eat food. The first, go through a series of physical and chemical treatments mixed with additives, and third, finally packaged. All these steps taken together make up food processing. Second is flavoring agent. To make the food flavored and good in taste, we have to add something like salt, sweeteners, citric acid, vinegar, alcohols. So all these types of chemicals are called flavoring agents. Third one is preservatives. Preservatives we are using to keep our food safely for a longer period. There are generally two types of preservatives: antimicrobes and antioxidants. Antimicrobes generally check the growth of germs like bacteria, fungus, etc. And antioxidants, they check the oxidation of food. So there are these two types of preservatives generally we are using in our food, like sauce and jams, pickles, all these things.
Role of chemistry in the field of cosmetics and medicines.
Chemistry and cosmetics. Cosmetics help a person look good and smart. Cosmetics are different types: cream, powder and solution. So generally mixed with the following substance in the cosmetics: a mild antiseptic like boric acid to check the growth of any harmful microorganism on the skin, white powdery substance like calamine to make the cream white, vitamin E to give nourishment to the skin, and antimicrobes also like boric acid along with the perfume. Now we will discuss about chemicals that are used to derive medicines. Previously we used herbs and minerals for medicines. Nowadays we generally use chemicals to prepare them. Medicines are classified into different types according to their use. You can see the table on your screen, the types of medicines used and example. Types of medicines are antipyretic, analgesic, anti-malarial, anti-allergic, antibiotic. And the uses of these medicines are: antipyretic are used to bring down the fever. The common example of this, aspirin and paracetamol. Analgesic, relieving for killing pain, or you can simple way you can say it, painkiller. Anti-malarial, curing malaria, quinine. Anti-allergic, preventing reaction to the cold and also to dust and smoke, etc. And the example of anti-allergic is cetrazine. Antibiotic, destroying microorganisms causing disease like dysentery, typhoid, tuberculosis, etc. And the examples are penicillin, chloromycetin, ciprofloxacin, ampicillin, etc. So these are the common example of these types of medicines. All these you have to learn carefully and just draw this table also in your copy. Chemicals used in soaps and detergents. Soaps and detergents are used as cleansing agents. What is soap? Soaps are sodium salts of long chain fatty acids like palmitic and stearic acid. Soaps are obtained when oils and fats are heated with caustic soda. The sodium salts of fatty acids are formed and glycerin is set free. The process is called saponification. By this process we can get soap. And glycerin is set free means that glycerin is the byproduct of saponification. So but what is byproduct? Byproduct means the process of manufacturing something if you get something else too. This is called the byproduct. So glycerin is the byproduct of saponification. Glycerin is good for the skin and we should not separate the glycerin from the soap. Then we can get glycerin soap. And detergents generally are not soaps but work like soaps. So they are also called soapless soaps. Now our topic is chemistry and clothing. Cloth is made of fibers. Fibers are thin and many times longer than their thickness. If you want to see a fiber of a cloth, you can see with the help of a magnifying glass. Fibers are twisted together to find the long threads. This is called spinning. Types, generally we are categorizing fibers in two categories, natural and synthetic fibers. Natural fiber is further subcategorized in two types, plant fibers and animal fibers. Plant fibers, as the name suggests, are obtained from plants like cotton, flax and jute. Cotton is the most used fiber. Cotton plants grow best on black soil and in a warm climate. In our country, cotton is cultivated in Punjab, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. Cotton is planted in the early spring. In about 2 months, white or yellowish flowers come up, slowly turning pink to red. After about 3 days, the petals fall off, leaving behind a green seed-like structure called ball. The ball grows slowly. When fully mature, it bursts, revealing white, fluffy cotton containing brown seeds inside. Cotton is picked by machines. The fibers are spun into yarn and the yarn is woven into to make the cloth. Our second natural fiber is animal fiber. The first one was plant fiber. We already discussed about this. So generally silk and wool are common animal fibers. Silk we obtain from the silkworms and wool from the hairy animals like sheep, camels and yaks. Silk moth lays about 200-500 eggs and dies. The eggs are preserved. The worm come out and eggs hatch. They are fed on mulberry leaves. When the worms are fully grown, they build their own protective covering called cocoons. A cocoon is made of thin thread-like substance formed by the hardening of the worm's secretion. Finally, the worm becomes a moth, and after that the cocoon is now kept into hot air so that the moth inside is killed. If the moth comes out, the cocoon is damaged and the thread of the silk break. All the silk means ki wastage. Twisting the fibers into silk thread is called throwing. THROWING, throwing, and those engaged in the work are called throwsters. The important kinds of silk are mulberry, tussar and munga. Our second animal fiber is wool. I already told you wool we can get from the hairy animals like sheep, camels and yaks. Different types of sheep yields different amount of wool. Breeders maintain a sheep farm where sheep are kept in hygienic conditions. The rams, ewes and lambs are kept in different sheds. The sheds are regularly cleaned and disinfected with lime and bleaching powder. Shearing. In India, sheep are generally shorn twice a year, in spring and autumn. A couple of days before shearing, the animal is washed thoroughly with water in order to remove dirt from the wool. The wool obtained from such an animal is called washed wool. Shearing is done using a pair of scissors or electrically driven shears. The wool obtained from live sheep is called clipped wool, and that from dead sheep pulled wool. Quality of wool. The quality of a given sample of wool is judged on the basis of the following. The thinner the fiber, the better the wool. The wool of superior quality is more crimpy than an inferior wool. Fine wool has a shorter fiber length than the medium. Artificial or synthetic fibers. Artificial fibers are made of polymers. What is a polymer? A polymer is a giant molecule formed by the end-to-end joining of small parts or units called monomers. Generally, semi-synthetic fibers are categorized in two types, semi-synthetic and purely synthetic. First, we will discuss about semi-synthetic fibers. Semi-synthetic fibers, these are made of modifying some natural polymers. The most common examples are rayons. In our book, there are three types of rayons: viscous rayon, acetate rayon, and cupra ammonium rayon. And we can get all these three types of rayons by the different chemically treated cellulose. In first, cellulose is chemically treated in three different ways to obtain three kind rayons. First, viscous rayons. Cellulose is dissolved in a mixture of sodium hydroxide and carbon disulfide. A viscous liquid means that cannot flow, called viscous, is obtained. Viscous is forced through spinators. You can see on your screen the figure. Forced through spinators, which have very small holes, into an acid bath, and the filament of viscous rayon are obtained. Now, second is acetate rayon. Acetate rayon. To obtain acetate rayon, cellulose is dissolved in a mixture of acetic acid and sulfuric acid. And the third one is cupra ammonium rayon. Cupra ammonium rayon, when we dissolve cellulose into a solution of cupra ammonium hydroxide, after that we get the cupro rayon. Now, second is purely synthetic fibers. Purely synthetic fibers are made from chemicals by polymerization. Polyesters, nylons, acrylics are the most common example. Polyester obtained by the reaction between sets of organic compounds from a melt, which can be spun into filaments. Terylene and Dacron belong to this class of synthetic fibers. Nylon 6, as the name suggests, the most important fiber of this class. Nylon 6 is made of an organic compound which contains 6 carbon atoms. Acrylic fibers are a substitute for natural wool. They are crimpy and not straight like polyester or nylon fibers. They are generally used to make artificial furs. There are few advantages of synthetic fibers, like they do not depend on agricultural crop and animal farming as silk and wool do. Fabrics made of synthetic fibers are easily heat set, easy to iron them. Synthetic fibers are more durable than natural fibers. Synthetic fibers are cheap in comparison to natural fibers. There are few disadvantages of synthetic fibers also. Clothes made of purely synthetic are not comfortable at all. Synthetic fibers melt before burning. Synthetic fibers do not absorb sweat, and some electrical charges also accumulates on synthetic fibers, so it's irritate the skin. So overall, there are so many disadvantages of synthetic fibers. Now, this is a summary of the chapter. Chemistry is involved with the life process of all living beings. The growth and aging of animals and plants are due to the chemical changes occurring in them all the time. Chemistry helps us grow more food by using chemical fertilizers and pesticides. Chemical fertilizers represent nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium and zinc. Urea, superphosphate of lime, diammonium phosphate are some common fertilizers. Things that harm plants and crops are called pests, and the chemical we used to kill them, pesticides. Insecticides are used to kill insects. By food processing, we get ready to eat food packaged Adding preservating means to help the food keep safe for a longer period. Sodium benzoate, sulfur dioxide are some common food preservatives. Some common types of medicines are the analgesic and antipyretics. In cosmetics, we use chemicals like boric acid, calamine, and dihydrated magnesium silicate. Cloth is made of fibers, natural or synthetic. Natural fibers are obtained either from the plants or the animals. Fibers are polymers. A polymer is a giant molecule containing a repeating unit called a monomer. Synthetic fibers are polymers and are of two types, semi-synthetic and purely synthetic. Semi-synthetic fibers examples are rayons and viscous rayons. Purely synthetic fibers are made artificially from chemicals, and the common examples are nylon and terylene and polyesters. Now, I want to discuss the exercise with you. Listen it very carefully. After that, you have to do all these question answers in your copy. Whatever right now you are having at home, whether an old copy or a new copy or the sheets. Later on, you can paste these pages into your classwork copy when the school will reopen. The first question, we use chemical fertilizers to replenish depleted elements in the soil. Name any three of these elements. Name any three: nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. Second question, name any four chemical fertilizers. You can see the table I showed you in this video also. I am telling you also the answer. Fertilizers: urea, superphosphate of lime, DAP, diammonium phosphate, potassium chloride. Any four you can write. Third question, why are pesticides used? Pesticides are used to kill unwanted insects, rodenticides, herbicides and fungicides. Name any two food preservatives. Sodium benzoate and sodium sorbate. What is an antipyretic? We use antipyretics to bringing down fever. What is an analgesic? Analgesic is used to kill or relieving pain. Which elements are present in talc? In talc, the elements are present magnesium, silicon and oxygen and elements of water. What is a soap? Soap are sodium salts of long chain fatty acids like palmitic and stearic acid. What is meant by a byproduct? I already give this answer to you when I explained this chapter. Again I am telling, listen it carefully. The process of manufacturing something if you get something else too. The latter is called a byproduct. The second part of this question, name the byproduct of the soap industry. Glycerin. The byproduct of the soap industry is glycerin. Name a bleaching agent for cloth. Bleaching agent for cloth is hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide. What are cocoons made of? A cocoon is made of a thin thread-like substance formed by a hardening of the worm's secretion. Why is crossbreeding done in Indian sheep farms? The crossbreeding done in Indian sheep farms to get more wool. Because the hybrid sheep's giving more wool than a native sheep. Name a semi-synthetic fiber, rayon, and a purely synthetic fibers, polyester. I hope you understand all these answers. Objective questions. Choose the correct option. DAP is commonly used as a fertilizer. Second, which of the following is a sugar substitute? The answer is A. Sucralose. The use of iodized salt helps prevent goiter. The gas in a packet of potato chips is nitrogen. To which of the following types of fibers does terylene belongs? Polyesters. Fill in the blanks. Urea gives to the soil. Urea gives nitrogen to the soil. Sodium benzoate is used in food processing as a preservative. Boric acid is used as an antiseptic in cosmetics. Ginning means removing seeds from cotton. Acrylics are wool substitutes. Synthetic fibers are stronger than natural fibers. True and false. Potassium chloride is used as a fertilizer. It's true. Vitamin C is ascorbic acid. True. Talc is not a silicate mineral. False. Penicillin is an antimalarial. False. The gin was invented in China. False. A silk moth lays only one egg at once. False. Thank you, my dear students, for watching this video.